Hey, good morning, guys. It's me, your favorite counselor, and I'm on my way to work. Uh, you know, Still doing what I do, helping people kind of work through, not just this whole pandemic and the scare that it's created, the fear, but also all the other things that we need to work on to get ourselves up and functioning in the healthiest way possible. I mean, the one thing about crisis is it will either bring out the best or the worst in us. And, unfortunately, for some of us, it's brought out the worst. And, so I'm still here. I'm still working with people. I got people out of state that I'm doing phone sessions with and just really kind of working with different, they're different circumstances, but they're all very similar issues, because it comes down to the core belief of what we got going on, and I was talking to somebody the other day about the lies that we've grown up with, that we've learned to live with, that we've adopted into our belief system. They've become part of our core identity, and it's based on deception. It's not just denial. Where we deny the truth. It's a real how do I put this? It's almost like a cult reprogramming that we've been involved in, where we've adopted the delusion about who we are and what we're meant to be. Everybody calm down. It's just my allergies. I always cough in the morning, until my allergy medicine kicks in and the pollen. I really probably should start, running or walking in the morning to get, my lungs, working to expel all the pollen in my lungs so I don't freak people out. But I took my allergy medicine already this morning, so it should be kicking in very soon. So don't worry. And I wear a mask. I wear a mask at work, for my protection and my clients' protection, and just to help everybody feel safer. So anyways, the lies that we grow up and personal example about the self deception that I had growing up, that I still battle with sometimes, and that had a lot to do with relationships, to where I never believed anyone would ever truly love me. And it was all based on my image, because I was overweight, and I always thought that, well, once they really see me, for who I am, because I had identified with being fat, like as if that was all that there was with me, that I didn't have no personality, I didn't have any intelligence. My whole identity was based in cellulite, and that's so crazy, because I got these dimples and these white teeth that are fat, and my sense of humor is fat free. I mean, there's so many things. My loyalty, my faith, my compassion, all that stuff. And I totally, the other lie was that I underestimated the worth that those characteristics had in the world with people. I mean, people, when it comes down to it, people value what's inside you more than what you look like. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take care of yourself. One of my friends, Beth, was telling me that yeah, I mean, who doesn't want a six pack? But more than anything, you want somebody who has a six pack in their personality. And the fact that, she said, and will you still work out? You're still working on being healthy, which is a huge component to who you are. It's not like I just sit home, watching, binge watching, Game of Thrones, eating Cheetos and pizza. I'm like, really, putting forth an effort. And even though it's hard, and I'm slowly losing it again, the fact that we're trying. You ever watch somebody who, even though they're still technically losing, they never stop trying. Hold on, my head's getting hot. Whew. They never stop trying, and the fact that they never give up is so powerful, so attractive. And that's what we want. We want somebody that just has that never say die attitude. And that's one of the lies that I had told myself before. I mean, I was such a quitter. I mean, I would quit on myself in an instant because I didn't believe I had the strength to to overcome any real challenge. I mean, man, I tell you, I think it was in my mid 20s. I would only accept challenges that I knew I could win, which really wasn't a challenge because I had created the belief system that I didn't have what it takes to basically be an overcomer in any area. You know, um, whether it's relationships, whether it's school, whether it was exercise, in any arena, I would never. I always took the shortcut. I always took the easy route out because that was my belief system. I didn't believe I had what it takes, and I still, I kind of, and I know I'm not supposed to do this, but look, I'm just being real. I still kind of kick myself for believing that back then because I know if I would have adopted the attitude I have now back then, I'd probably be the president today. No, really. But seriously, that's the problem with adopting these self deceptions, these discrepancies in what we think about ourselves and the reality of who we are, and we believe the lie so much that it becomes the reality. And so when I'm working with somebody, I tell them, I said, look, often we can identify the problem, but we underestimate the process of dismantling the deception. And because that requires dropping seeds of the truth into our life that we have to plant and let grow. It's a process. I can't just roll over tomorrow and say I'm a great man. Yeah, I can say it, but the problem is I don't believe it in my core. So even though the words may come out of my mouth, which is part of the process, I have to understand. I have to be patient with the process because even though the words are coming out of my mouth, I have to wait for those words to really in, inseminate my mind. I know I'm using big words. I'm sorry. But I got to wait for the words to grow roots in my heart. And I have to be patient with that process. We're like emotional farmers. And so there is a time to plant seed and then there's a time to harvest. And neither one of those times are instantaneous. So there's a lot of different ways to start it, but I tell a lot of people, I said, look, write down all your positive characteristics. And I'm telling you what, everybody should have at least 20 that they can start with. 20 sincere ones. And then what I do is I go back and I say, write down the things that should be on the list that you dismissed. And that's when it gets touchy because because everybody has that thought, excuse me, of something good about ourselves that comes from I'm gonna say it comes from God. That really is whispering that you're better than you are. Okay, but we dismiss it because we're like, no, that's not me. No, I can't put that down. I can't put down that I'm smart. I can't put down that I'm pretty. I can't put down that people love to work with me because why? Because there's something negative inside us that's telling us that's ready to accept the negative, that's ready to accept the dysfunctional about ourselves. And everybody, look, everybody's got flaws, but we have more strength, more beauty about us than more dysfunction. But the dysfunction that we've learned to live with, that we've learned to accept and adopt, overrides anything positive that is the truth about us. And that's the problem. So this is my suggestion. Sit down and write down 20 things about yourself that are incredible. Okay. And then go back a day or two later. And you might need to do this with a friend and write down 5 other things that you didn't want to put down that are also true about yourself. Okay. And then we'll work from there. And then I want you to read that list every morning. And that's where we're going to start. Okay. All right. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. I'm heading to work. It's a beautiful day. I know we're under quarantine, but at least go outside and get some fresh air and some sunlight. Walk around the yard. I mean, I'll walk around the neighborhood. I mean, nobody's out. It's not like New York where they've had to shut down streets because there's too many people on the streets. I'm walking around the neighborhood. It's like me and the birds, especially if you do it early enough in the morning. Get out, get some fresh air, get some sunlight, get some vitamin D, and let's start living our life again. All right. Love you guys. I'm praying for you guys. Keep me in prayer. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.